tormenting you with old memories, imaginary fears, and silent battles no one else can see. You smile in public, but inside your thoughts scream louder than any crowd. You try to sleep, but your mind keeps replaying what you can't change. You know what peace looks like, but you just don't know how to reach it. Let me tell you something bold, something that may shake you. You don't have a broken life, you have an undisciplined mind. And once you master it, everything in your life begins to change. They never told you the real battle was inside your head. Not in the economy, not in your enemies, not even in your past. It's in that quiet room between your ears, the one no one else sees but everyone else feels. You can smile on the outside while you're dying on the inside. You can look successful yet be at war with yourself every single night. Let me ask you a question that might just haunt you until you answer it. If your mind were a house, who lives there? Is it your fears? Your past? Someone who hurt you 10 years ago? Is it that voice that says you're not enough? That whisper that says you'll always fail? Because someone is living in your mind rent-free, controlling your peace, your focus, your energy, your life. And unless you take back the keys, you will continue to suffer behind a smiling mask. You're not tired because of what you're doing, you're tired because of what you're thinking. Your body isn't weak, your thoughts are heavy. And until you learn to master your mind will master you. There is no prison more tormenting than an uncontrolled mind. It will replay the past until you can't see the future. It will create storms that don't exist. It will turn friends into enemies, hope into fear, peace into paranoia. The scariest thing about the human mind is that it will believe whatever you tell it, especially if you repeat it enough times. And yet most people spend more time organizing their closets than they do organizing their thoughts. They'll clean their homes for guests, but they leave the mind filthy with negative thoughts, envy, imaginary arguments, and regrets. And then they wonder why they can't sleep, why they wake up drained, why they sabotage their own blessings. It's not life that's attacking them, it's their own thoughts. You were not born with a broken mind. Somewhere along the way, you allowed your thoughts to become your master. You let pain build a throne in your mind and rule like a dictator. You let doubt become your compass. You let rejection become your identity. But that ends today. Because when you learn to control your mind, you learn to control your world. Imagine, just for a moment, being able to feel chaos around you and still remain calm within you. Imagine waking up and not dreading the day. Imagine walking into rooms and not shrinking, not comparing, not replaying past mistakes. Imagine hearing the voice of fear and telling it, "You're not welcome here anymore." That's not a fantasy. That's the power of a trained mind. But make no mistake, your mind is not your enemy. It's a tool. And like any tool, it can build or destroy. The hammer can build a house or smash it to pieces. The fire can warm a home or burn it down. The mind can be a sanctuary or a slaughterhouse. And what makes the difference? Who's holding it? Let me be clear. Controlling your mind doesn't mean ignoring pain. It doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means learning to filter your thoughts. Not every thought deserves your energy. Not every memory needs to be relived. Not every fear needs to be fed. The first step to taking control is becoming aware of what you've allowed to grow in the soil of your mind. What thoughts are you watering? Some of you are growing gardens of anxiety because every morning you wake up and immediately feed your mind with worry. You reach for your phone, scroll through fear, compare yourself to strangers and call it normal. That's not normal. That's conditioning. You don't have to believe every thought you think. Not everything your mind tells you is true. In fact, many of your thoughts are not your own. They are echoes of someone else's pain that you adopted as truth. Some of you are still living out thoughts planted by people who didn't know your worth. A parent who spoke through their own trauma, a teacher who doubted you, a friend who betrayed you. And yet those voices still whisper, still dictate your choices, still sit at the head of the table in the home of your mind. You must evict them. This will not be easy, because the mind clings to the familiar even if the familiar is killing you. Pain that's known feels safer than peace that's unfamiliar. That's why many people stay in toxic patterns, because even if they're suffering, at least they understand it. But freedom only comes when you are brave enough to break the cycle. Here's the truth. No one can do this for you. Not your friends, not your family, not a therapist. They can guide you, they can support you, but the inner war, that's yours to win. And you can win it because your mind is not broken. It's just untrained. And anything untrained can be taught. Even the most chaotic mind can be restructured with enough repetition, focus, and discipline. So how do you do it? You start by guarding the gate. Your mind is like a fortress, and you must become its gatekeeper. Every thought is a visitor knocking at your door. You must ask, who sent you? What do you want? What will you leave behind? If a thought comes bearing fear, shame, bitterness, don't let it in. If it offers peace, clarity, growth, invite it to stay. You must also be careful with what you feed your mind. Just as your body becomes what you eat, your mind becomes what you consume. If you constantly ingest negativity, gossip, chaos, comparison, you are feeding the very thoughts that are destroying you. You cannot binge fear and expect peace to grow. You cannot drink poison and wonder why you feel sick. Every day you must consciously plant thoughts that empower you. Speak to yourself with strength even when you don't feel strong. Repetition is reprogramming. Even if you don't believe the words at first, say them anyway. Your mind doesn't know the difference between truth and repetition. It only knows what it hears the most. So tell it, I am capable. I am calm. I am not my past. I choose peace. I reject fear. There is no magic switch. This is a process. It is work. You will fall. You will be tempted to go back to old thought patterns because they feel familiar. But keep going. Discipline is louder than doubt. Effort is stronger than fear. And one day, without even realizing it, you will wake up and realize that you are no longer a prisoner in your own mind. You are the master of it. There is power in stillness. Learn to sit with yourself. Silence is not empty, it is full of answers. Turn off the noise. Step away from the constant input. Your mind cannot breathe if it is always flooded with stimulation. Solitude is not loneliness, it is alignment. It is where you begin to hear the quiet truth that's been buried beneath years of chaos. And when the storm comes, and it will, you will not panic, because you will have trained your mind to become a lighthouse, not a sponge. You will shine, not absorb. You will remain, not collapse. The waves may crash around you, but they will not control the tide within you. What does it look like to truly control your mind? It looks like walking into rooms where you were once ignored and no longer feeling the need to prove yourself. It looks like hearing an insult and realizing it says more about them than it does about you. It looks like facing a disappointment and not letting it define your worth. It looks like being at peace even when nothing around you makes sense. That is not delusion. That is mental power. The world will not stop throwing distractions at you, but you get to decide what you catch. You get to decide what stays. And once you understand that, you reclaim your strength. This life is too precious to be lived as a slave to thoughts that don't serve you. There is no greater victory than becoming the master of your own mind, because once you do, no one, not even life itself, can shake you from your place of inner power. You are not your thoughts, you are the observer of them. You are the sculptor, the director, the builder, and you hold the chisel. Every day, with every thought you accept or reject, you are shaping your reality. You cannot heal a mind you keep abandoning. You cannot conquer a battlefield you refuse to enter. Too many people are losing a war simply because they refuse to fight it. They're waiting for peace to magically arrive, not realizing that peace is not found, it's forged. It is the reward of intentional mental discipline, not the absence of problems. Peace is not the calm around you, it is the command within you. And it begins when you stop reacting to every thought and start responding with authority. You must become the architect of your mental environment. Do not allow your mind to be a junkyard for every fear, every insult, every painful memory. Start renovating, start removing, tear down the walls of self-doubt, pull up the floorboards of bitterness, knock out the windows of comparison, and build again, brick by brick, thought by thought, day by day. Some of you have been walking around with a storm in your mind for so long that you've forgotten what peace even feels like. You've carried anxiety like it's a badge of responsibility. You've mistaken chaos for productivity. But there is a deeper truth calling out to you. You are not meant to live in mental torment. You are not created to be at war with yourself. And hear this: controlling your mind does not mean you never struggle. It means you learn to struggle well. It means you stop letting emotions drive the car. You acknowledge them, you honor them, but you do not obey them. You feel the fear, but still move forward. You feel the anger, but you don't speak out of it. You feel the sadness, but you don't drown in it. The uncontrolled mind is like a wild horse. It will run in every direction, drag you through the mud, exhaust you until there's nothing left. But the trained mind, oh, the trained mind becomes a force of nature. It knows when to charge and when to rest. It knows when to speak and when to stay silent. It becomes a source of clarity in a world addicted to noise. And clarity is rare, because clarity requires courage. It requires you to sit in silence and face what you've been running from. The thoughts that expose your pain, your insecurities, your old wounds. But healing never comes by hiding. Growth never comes by numbing. You must look within if you ever hope to rise above. If you want to control your mind, you must stop feeding it lies. Stop saying, "I'll never be enough." Stop saying, "I always mess things up." Stop saying, "I'm just this way." No, you are not your patterns. You are not your history. You are what you consistently choose to become. And every time you speak over yourself, you are either building a weapon or building a wall. Speak wisely. Do not wait until your life collapses to change your thoughts. The storm does not send an invitation. The breakdown does not make a